Getting excited about the recent pump? It looks like a positive route towards a transition from a bear market rally towards a bull market. But it's not yet started. When you start zooming out and look at a macro level price fluctuation history, we have a lot of barriers to overcome. Now, although the scenario is like this, you have a support around 0.1, and yes, it may even wick down more towards 0.5 area in one side. Now, but on the other side of the same arena, if you actually look, you're actually getting more and more reinforcements for the entire digital asset market. Now, that is so informative if you actually listen to the end. If you see value in the video, please do hit the like, subscribe, and the bell notification icon. Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now, this is from Joker, and he is actually sharing you a positive vibe about the XRP price being on a sale, and shows the possibility of a dip to around 0.2-0.5 cents area. Now, this one is actually really important because when central banks and governments are printing money from thin air, banks were previously allowed to take them and buy back their shares to increase the price and make, hunt the normal mom and pop. But now it's being regulated, so the things are getting different. And that's how an old monetary system will be modified for transitioning into a new monetary system. If you don't understand, you actually have to listen to this. You'll get a clear idea from that.
If you're a dissident of the system, as this moves on into more extremes, they can wipe your bank account. And it's just gone. Because all it is figures on a screen. You can wipe.
So from what you just listened, you really need a store of value that will exist even in the new financial system. Because when you go ahead, what you have to consider is, always remember this, at least based on the China's gift to the world now, I don't think majority of the country will be actually going into something which is controlled by them. Now, I personally do not think the majority of the governments will allow to use Chinese mined assets like this. Instead, they'll go for something better, which have higher ability, see the scalability and the frictionless, cheap, all the parameters or the factors which come along with XRP. Now, why I say so? If you want to understand that, you really have to listen another 10 seconds to this video.
You can, from a central point, crash the entire economy by controlling digital money and digital processes. And the idea eventually, problem, reaction, solution, create the problem and then offer the solution, is to have a gigantic crash, which they will instigate. And then to overcome the crash, they will propose a totally new economic system.
If what we listen to is true, the economic crash is planned, that is actually happening for replacing the existing financial system or the entire economical system, right? So in that aspect, you already know what will be the chosen path. And while they are traveling through that chosen path, they will have chosen assets, chosen factors everywhere. So that's why at first I told you, do consider this when you're actually choosing your assets. These articles actually show you how things are actually turning around. If private institutions, want to actually deliver this positive sign, what I believe is that government will actually seize the opportunity to do so. Why? Because why will they actually let the private institutions control these opportunities? When you move ahead, you actually get information regarding, what is happening. And that leads us here. Say, for example, for 3 and others, even like in the 3, you can actually see, for example, Coinbase and Binance is a different institution having different organizational goals, whereas Ripple is entirely different from both of them. And it's Ripple which is having the digital asset as, they have a lot of XRP. So if that is the case, when you actually move forward, you can actually understand that this is happening around. Like if banks are going to custody crypto, as Brad Garlinghouse stated previously, believe me, you know what is coming and they have prepared for this upcoming financial economical situation. But the question is, are you prepared? Are we prepared? Because ultimately what will be happening is, the gigantic players are actually coming in, taking the extra step to connect the digital asset market and the financial markets. So that is actually a huge thing when you actually understand that. Now what you have to look at is this will be actually the creation of future millionaires, and the wrong selection of assets may actually make you bankrupt. So while selecting your horse for this race, choose carefully, consider all the factors which are playing behind the screen. Now jumping back into the charts, in the shorter time frame ones, we can actually see that the trend is kind of changing, and that's towards a positive area. But when we actually move into the long-term charts, it's not yet confirmed. Otherwise, when we actually look here, if that's not confirmed and the price is going to dip down, we may dip back to these price support levels which I have highlighted, which is say around 0.1 or 0.13 at first. But as you can see in the long-term chart, it's kind of looking a bit dull or bearish. Now this is not the first time it has happened, and previously when it happened, it actually went higher than that. Like it gave people thought that no, this is negative, it's gonna go to the downside. But what happened afterwards was a different story. You all know that, that's history, right? Now when you actually move on, this is a daily chart, and you can actually see that we have a price support level around 0.1 till where we wicked previously, and currently the price is actually holding about this particular area, which you can see this was a previous support area. We are holding there. So the question is whether when we dip back, will we get a bounce from here, or will we come back till here? Because if we are actually getting a bounce from there, the second thing you have to consider is we have an overhead resistance again around this area. That will be around 0.21, 0.22, and not only that trend line, but also this trend line will be acting as a resistance at that particular area. And if we manage to break above that, that's kind of really bullish situation. But we eventually will have this particular level as a resistance, that's around 0.27, 0.28. And now zooming really out, coming into a weekly chart and looking at the scenarios, for example, we can actually see if this is the case, say the double bottom of this one is what we are getting here, with this pump and this pump, which looks similar. Now it's not accurately similar, but it looks like there is a similarity. If that's happening, then if we get something like this, we will be moving about 900%. That takes us about $1. Now if that is happening, we are actually invalidating all these resistance level which is running from a long time. Now we have this one, and this one as a resistance level when we go to the upside. But if this is actually happening, that kind of invalidates everything, and we are moving to the upside. A new cycle begins there, and it will be huge than this, because this was driven by the retailers, and the next one is gonna be retailers plus the institutions. And if you look at the RSI during this area, you can actually see a similarity here. Now yes, there is a bit of time difference, but the price fluctuation pattern is like it came below that support and then made a double bottom, which we are getting now. But that's only confirmed if we actually go above this in the RSI. Thank you for spending your time at Scientific Investor channel, and if you like the content, please do hit the like button, subscribe button and the notification bell icon so you'll get notified about all the future videos. Bye for now.